All right, thank you, Senator Ita Enang. Let's bring the conversation back here to the studio with Senator Babafemi Ojudu. You're of the APC, and your party has, over time and time again, said that, like I put it to Senator Enang, about some of your misgivings, about some of the decisions made by the federal government, and of course, the standings of some of your colleagues in the PDP. The postponement didn't go down well with your party, and at that point in time, I remember that your party was saying that it wasn't INEC that wasn't ready, it was the security chief. But with the successes that the military, the Nigerian military we're experiencing now in the northeastern part of Nigeria, several communities have now been recovered. Do you still think that otherwise?
Well, I think largely I share the sentiment of my colleague about the need for us to be patriotic, the need for us to come together as a whole, not as members of different parties on these matters that are very important to the survival of the country. But you see, what we insisted on was that since it was, the reason of security was adduced for the postponement of the election, we believe that the military chiefs will have been invited to address us on that day, and then again be able to promise, and say, look, we are working very hard, our men are on the field, we are achieving some Mayor of Sussex, therefore we can assure you that the date March 28 and April 11 is sacrosanct. But if you take your mind back to the briefing by the INEC chairman, when we put the question to him, can you now before us tell us that those dates are sacrosanct? He said, no, I can only assure you that I, as chairman of INEC and my colleagues, are ready to conduct election. The other bodies, the one that said that time that we could not go ahead with the election, should be invited to come and, give us that assurance. That is to say that it could not, eyeball to eyeball, assure us that elections will hold on March 28 and April 11. And that is why, up to now, we are still insisting that the military chiefs should be brought. We are happy that a lot of success has been achieved, miraculously in the last few weeks. We thought that, we'll be saying it over the years, over the months, that our military should be, are capable and strong, and patriotic to engage, this ragtag army. But unfortunately, that was not the case. And people were being killed, people were being displaced, bomb blast everywhere. We were wondering, is it not the same army that fought the civil war, that kept Nigeria together, that have gone to Sudan, gone to Liberia, gone to Sierra Leone, and have excelled? Why are we at the stage we are in that our soldiers will be running away from Boko Haram? Suddenly, things are looking good now, and we're happy with that.
Senator Ojudu, you think something has really changed?
Well, I mean, from the reports, the fact he said it, alluded to it, that the president suddenly has, gotten his courage back, is able to visit the war front, to go and talk to the soldiers, to go and relate with them and all of that. That, to us, is a positive signal. What we now need from them is to come. I mean, the military chiefs should not hide, since they have become an issue in our political process by the fact of their putting pressure on INEC to shift the days of the election. They should now come to, out to Nigerians. We don't want a situation whereby a week to the election again, somebody will come to say, look, we still cannot go ahead because of security issues. They should come before the Senate, whether at the committee level or at the plenary level, and assure Nigerians that, based on our honor, and what we have done so far, the kind of support we have gotten from Nigerians, we are ready to provide security. We do not, as a party, even believe that soldiers have to be involved in elections.
All right. We'll still come to that, okay. But let me quickly take you back. A lot of people, some people will think that your party was slightly impatient with the government of the day, considering the situation that the military and the government found themselves at a point in time when the government came out to say we need help. It was a frank stance of the government at that time.
After the postponement of the election?
No. I'm talking about before the postponement of the election. I'm talking about the fights, the insurgency fight. I mean, your party was hard on the federal government.
We have never at any time stop the...
Senator Ojudu,
Yes.
your party has been hard on the government of the day in terms of the fight on the insurgents.
Yeah, of
and
course.
they've said that, look, we do not have as much of the military firepower like we had those days.
Yes.
And it looks so much like we're receiving help from a country like Russia, where there were allegations that America was not ready to help. And on the streets of Lagos, we saw deployment of, we saw armored tanks that are being transported from, we don't know where they're being taken to. Don't you think that there is a progress that being made if your party was a bit patient?
No, a responsive party and a responsive and responsible leadership should be agitated if daily citizens are being killed in hundreds and thousands. If daily people are being displaced, you cannot, either you are in opposition or you are in government, you must be agitated. And you must then, sit down and query, a government that is not doing much about that. How did we get to the point whereby, we no longer had equipment, our soldiers are running away from Iraq tag army. Now, suddenly we had the Chadians, we have Nigerians, we have Cameroonians on our, in our space, helping us to fight this battle. Suddenly, our soldiers now rediscover their courage. For me, if not for the agitation of the opposition, if not that we are putting prayer, if not that we are insisting that this issue of insecurity should be part of the issues that should be raised as the elections, as the campaigns progresses, maybe nobody will have cared to do much about these things. So for us...
But don't you think that because of the hardware that we're getting now, we understand that there's some more area fighting equipment, there's some more hardware.
Should the country wait to be humiliated before it acquires hardware for its country? Has there been any year when we have not made provision in the budget for the military to acquire hardware? I'm a member of the Committee for Army and Defense of the Senate. I know that every year, year in, year out, since I got into the Senate in 2011, we have, voted money for the military to acquire equipment, to train, and to provide, motivation for the soldiers. So then we should be asking what went wrong. Who was in charge of what? Who is responsible for what? And that is what we have not done well in this country. If things are not working, who is supposed to make it work? And it has not worked. And if we find out that somebody is supposed to make things work and it has not worked, what kind of punishment, have we, what kind of sanction have we brought about on the person who is supposed to have made things work and it's not working? Why should it be that it is Chad, it is Niger that should wake us up? I mean, I went on the internet yesterday, I saw photographs of Nigerians or Chadians in our space fighting Boko Haram, killing these insurgents, arresting some and questioning them, seizing their equipment and all of that. Countries that in the past we have had to help, countries that in the past had looked up to us. It is positive, it's good now that things are, And
I guess you are asking what has gone right now.
Yes, what has gone right now? What has happened?
Perhaps the government has gotten it right. Is your party happy about that?
Well, again,
about the success?
No,
Is your party happy about it now?
Who will not be happy that, our citizens are no longer, that we are able to rescue our citizens?
I know that's a major campaign point for your party, that you're going to fight insecurity. But now you probably are losing that point.
No, we are not.
The government of today is winning the war.
We are not. Nobody has come to tell us that war has been won conclusively in the Northeast.
All right, we'll take a moment on the program now. And when we return, we'll talk about military deployment. This has been the dissenting voice on this matter too. In fact, that case went to the court, and there are questions about who actually asked for military to be deployed for elections. What is the role of the military in the election? There's been a lot of debate about this matter. Senator Ita Enang of the PDP and Senator Babafemi Ojudu of the APC are my guests on the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back.